I'll grab my flyer real quick and I'll show you the one we did. We didn't place this time, but uh, we did pretty good. And the funny part, we had Brent. What Brent was going to do, he was just going to judge it, and he wasn't going to get in himself. He was just going to do the judging.
Mm-hmm.
And when all that happened, he was like, "Well, I got to, exit. I'm going to have to join with somebody." So
Can you
he
hear me
emailed.
now? Okay.
He emailed Barry O'Clark, and we were like, "Man, we're not going to get any response from him or anything." And he said, "Yeah, well," he said, "I'll judge it for you."
Oh, that's cool, man.
So he judged it for us, and we had another one. Davey McFall, he was going to judge.
David
But
McPhail.
we had some issues getting pictures and stuff to him, so he kind of dropped, and we just did it with Barry.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So Will was telling me, Brian, that he's in this group called Fly Tires for Beginners, and they had like a contest thing, right? And for tying flies, and they almost got David McPhail to do the judging for it. So that would have been really cool. But
yeah, we did get Barry.
Yeah, Barry. He's great too.
Oh yeah,
good work. So how are you, Brian? Oh,
is it delayed?
I don't know.
I can hear you. Oh, he's on mute.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's on mute according to mine.
Yeah, you're on mute, Brian. There we go. I think you're off.
Yep, there it is.
Can you hear us?
Oh, I can't hear him.
Can you hear us, Brian?
I can.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
I was making sure. Yeah. I thought it was muted. So how have you been, man?
I'm out of quarantine.
Oh, did you have COVID? Oh yeah, that's right. You were saying your son did, right?
Yeah, my eldest son had COVID. He's feeling a lot better. And my youngest son and I tested negative. So
well, it's good that you guys got, negative. I mean, it's funny too, because if anyone should get it, it should be my family. My wife's a nurse and she's testing. I mean, she has 15 to 20 positives a day at her work that she's there, close quarters, and granted she's wearing all the PPE, but I don't know how we haven't gotten it. It's amazing, but yeah, that sucks, man. I mean, every single person in my family has gotten it in in the last little bit. So
okay. Yeah,
luckily they're healthy.
In my family. Well, that's not true. One of my cousins did, but like my mom and dad haven't. Uncles haven't.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And my friend that works as a nurse out in LA, he's never contracted it yet, but he says he takes his clothes and throws them in a garbage bag as soon as he's done and puts them out in the back of his truck.
Yeah. My wife is real careful. Like when she gets home, she'll take her clothes right off, jump in the shower, and it goes right in the laundry pretty much. So for sure.
Yeah.
Got to be careful.
That's what I used to do in like first few months. Anytime I went out, didn't matter.
Yeah.
Wherever I went, it was just like throw them in the damn wash machine,
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring the funk with me.
Nope, for sure. Especially when you got a family. I mean, if it was just me, whatever, but with kids and stuff, you just don't know. But
no, I get it. Especially with our situations makes things a little bit harder,
For sure.
And I know one of a friend of a friend, like that first wave in March 2020, she was also out in LA and she got it, and it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it took her a long time to recover.
Yeah, for sure. I know those first couple variants were pretty rough. I don't know much about this one, but it does seem like it's a little less, but hopefully, fingers crossed, who knows?
Yeah.
So I'm no doctor. But yeah, so Will's got a pretty cool fly going there. He's doing salmon flies. Have you ever seen salmon flies before?
Yeah, my bud, we were gonna go up there for his kid's wedding last August,
Mm-hmm.
go salmon fishing in the Pere Marquette, but nah, not with Delta, so they canceled his wedding and all kinds of things.
Oh, that's rough.
But yeah, he used to go up there. He used to live in Cleveland, so I've seen a few of them, but I've never I haven't tied one. Never seen anyone tie one either. So
I haven't tied one either. They look cool. I want to. I never got the chance. No one's requested them for me to tie, and so and then I just haven't myself tried. It does take some other materials and stuff, but I actually just got this done. It's a little popper. I don't know. It's hard to see probably. Got that done for video, so that'll be out. You guys will all see it on Patreon here in the next couple days, but probably in like 2 or 3 weeks on YouTube. But
is it articulated?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's just it's hard to see. I have a picture of it on my Instagram, but it's
okay.
foam head,
Yeah.
and then it's like fur body.
Is it like the chocolate fur that you just trimmed or something, or like a brush?
No, it's a what is it, a dubbing brush I made.
Okay, yeah.
So pretty simple. It's not that hard. But anyway, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat here.
This is the well, that's not true, but this is
very similar. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
so this is basically, this is articulated.
Mm-hmm.
And it has I don't even, it definitely has marabou in it, and it has up at the front a little bit of that like chocolate fur. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've thrown it several, and it has a little bit of that like I forget what you call it, like the cactus chenille right here.
Mm-hmm.
To give it like a little bit of like more of like definitely like bleeding look to it, but
sure.
I've never had anything blow it up. I've never had anything go after it, unfortunately. So
yeah,
I don't know if it's the
more of like a bass kind of fly.
It could be. Yeah, I was hoping it would kind of mimic a what they call the Papa Dog, which is made by DOA. I think it's a conventional walk the dog.
Yep.
So
that's a pretty cool fly. Those deer hair divers, man, those are great. You didn't possibly tie that, did you?
Yeah, that looks something I'm never gonna tie.
Yeah, they're so hard, man. I've tried, and I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm just not great with it.
I get it. It's a skill, and I know that like a lot of those, like not a lot, but I've seen like Brian Wise and some of the European dudes. They use like the razor to like chop it at the end.
Yeah, and I've done that, and it came out good. I've done a couple, but so you tandeming or I can't talk. Tandem that, Will?
Huh.
Are you muted? You're muted, Will.
Yeah.
Rat. Oops. So there's Ricky's.
Okay.
He did like I said, he tied that one. And that's all he does is hair bugs like that.
It's amazing. I mean, it's
then
crazy.
There's it's just attached with the mono.
Yeah.
And then there's my little clouser that we
did
as a trailer.
Does that seem to hold it up well enough? I
don't know. We just did that for just that was for that challenge that I was telling you about.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Because that was our the challenge was we were judged on our ties themselves. We're judged in 3 categories. One was the flies themselves.
Mm-hmm.
One was the presentation piece.
Cool.
Like how we how we, put the display together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then can't remember what the third one was. It may have been one for each of us that had I was judged on mine, and then he was judged on his, and then our presentation piece.
Okay.
But I'll send you a YouTube link of our entries.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I put together just a little slideshow clip that they that I just put together for the heck of it to show everybody what everybody tied and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see it.
Like I said, we had about 40 entries when we thought we were gonna have like 10. And then that was when all the mail stuff was having issues, and
Oh yeah.
so we had
Still having
flies.
issues.
Oh yeah, we had flies go missing, and then a bunch didn't get to participate, and
That sucks.
yeah, that was terrible on that end. But we ended up having 15 teams, I believe it was,
Cool.
that actually successfully got everything entered and all that stuff, and then we had a point system. I think you could get 30 point. It was 10 points on each category.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then Barry, critiqued them, 6 on this one, whatever, by his judging. And we were gonna have a total of 60 with David McPhail's points, but we cut it back to 30. And we had one that was just a clear winner. Like there was no even thought for us to tie or anything. So, and then we had a like 6 or 7 way tie for second, and then 3 or 4 way for third.
Cool.
So we had to do some finagling and trying to figure out how we were going to break the competition or break the tie for the second and third.
Mm-hmm.
And,
what was the winning fly?
let me see if I can. Actually, what I'll do, let me see if I can pull it up, and I can actually share my screen.
Cool.
And I'll just play the video because it only lasts about 2 minutes. Let's see. If I disappear, I'll be back.
All right. So how's the fishing been, Brian?
Last time I went was, I think, Tuesday. I think I went last Tuesday. It's not bad,
Sure.
So I launched at a freshwater lake, and when it's really cold, it's like there's a big mud flat for like,
Mm-hmm.
like 60-70% of the lake, and then there's like a little deep channel, and by deep I'm talking 4 feet because the lake's only like 2 feet deep.
Yeah.
So you'll have like redfish and trout, hanging out there. And it takes, and it feeds to a creek that leads out to a river to the Gulf. And so it takes the water a long time to get out there or back into the creek, far up into the lake. And with my kayak, I've got a beast of one. So I mean, like it's heavy.
Yeah.
And I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of used now to using my pedal drive.
Uh-huh.
So if I don't have to paddle, I
Yeah.
don't want to.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm right
anyway,
there. I would love a paddle drive, honestly. I mean,
it presents new challenges. That's the issue, with fly fishing. I mean, it's, you got to worry about your whereas before, if you're just with like a paddle, you don't have to worry about something really in front of you.
Sure.
But then you've got like the wheels and everything else. So like a stripping basket's like very key.
Sure.
Unless you want to stand up or sit down. But I think like then you need to really do be able to most effectively is to do a Belgian cast, I think,
Okay.
of a kayak. But at any rate, like it was a struggle to get out of there. I mean, it was practically dry. I mean, like it was a negative tide, so you could see the sandy bottom, maybe 6 inches, maybe. So I mean, it took me a good while to get out of like the lower end of the creek. And I didn't see anything. And it's like I don't know, maybe a like with all the bends and stuff, it's maybe 1.5 miles, maybe 2.
That's a long paddle.
Sure. Yeah. But once I got, I would hit areas where I could use my feet, and then I'd paddle. But I didn't see anything. There was like no fish, no mullet, nothing. And then I know that when you tend to get to the last bend, the last serious bend, there's a whole bunch of oyster beds that go out to the main, the mouth of the creek into the river. And it's kind of weird. I know people will say in winter saltwater fishing, you don't want to be where the flow is, where the cold water's coming in.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Actually, a lot of fish that I catch tends to be where the flow is.
Okay.
And so a lot of these fish were just
I think it brings in food. It brings in food for them if the flow's gone.
Exactly. Yeah. It's washing small bait fish, and there was a lot of little mullet back up, and like once you get to the very, very, very mouth of the creek. And that's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, it's bringing nutrients to the fish. They can sit there and be lazy. But the last 2 times I've fished, it's been a lot like if you're river fishing, in a raft. So you just drift as you can in your kayak, and you just bang the shore. You hit the shoreline, you drop it, you pull it, and then they're right on that drop off.
Did you catch any though?
Good
ones?
I caught the best one as a second picture on my Insta post.
I'll go check it out.
I mean, it's a 20-incher, it's not super, but
what kind of fish? Is it redfish?
No, it's speckled trout.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all speckled trout. I don't think I pushed an entire red.
20-inch speck is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not like a behemoth, but they were good. They were fighting, and they were hitting aggressively.
Cool.
And and it's in the Gulf, a lot of people will talk about the tides, like a 2-3 foot tide's pretty intense. I think this in certain areas is more like a 3 to 4.
Okay.
So, and I mean, I had to get out of there, get back into town. So I didn't get to fish the best part of it.
Yeah.
But there's another creek that if you go out the river and you would head, that would be east. It's like maybe, not even a quarter of a mile. That's also another area. But I've been trying to fish more offshore. And by offshore, I'm talking like a mile. Because that's where a lot of like the big reds tend to, I think, hold in the winter, unless it's super freezing, unless it's like the water temperature hits below, I don't know, 60. That's when they'll start to really go up into the rivers.
For sure.
But yeah, big ones at least.
Cool. Yeah, I just went fishing with John, who comes on these, also a Patreon. He lives close to me. He's not very far, and went fishing with him. I had a nice bass. I mean, it was at least a 4 or 5 pounder bite, nice. And I set and snap went my line. So,
oh, I know that feeling. Did you? You didn't trout set, did you?
Yeah. Oh, I stripped. So I stripped.
Okay. Yeah.
And then pulled up. But when I pulled up way too fast and hard, and it just snapped right off.
That's when you have a pretty solid fish, is when they just snap that tippet right off.
I didn't even feel any weight. It was just like, I felt the weight when I pulled, when I stripped, and then when I lifted, it just snapped. And speaking of, John's here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun time. We had a good time. I'm actually editing that video now. How you doing, John?
When you use, do you use the loop knots? Or Paula knots, whatever you want to call them?
No, I don't. I use a forgot the name of it.
Oh,
Not sure what the name of the knot is. I'll find out. I'll let you know later. Sorry, I'm just brain.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I was just telling him that we went fishing.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Oh, it was fun. Didn't catch a lot, but it was still fun.
Yeah. It's a pretty area up there.
Yeah, for sure. I was editing the video today. Unfortunately, my video with that big fish where I missed the set, I was doing somehow sped up video, so it had no sound and no it's not slow down.
Man,
So kind of ruined it. Oh well, it happens. So
there'll be a next time.
Yep.
well, I guess you're just gonna have to go fishing again.
I think we will. Yeah.
My wife and I came into San Antonio. We're running some errands today, so
Cool.
I just thought I'd say howdy to everybody, and I want to use my new waders. Go to the Guadalupe.
Yeah, let's try to set that up. We were going to go there when we went, but it was so crowded, and so hopefully it slows down and we can go hit up some trout.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great. That'd be great. How's everything going in Florida?
It's all right. I'm out of quarantine.
Oh, that's always a plus.
Yeah. I've got the semester starts on technically on Tuesday, but Wednesday for me. So I'm gonna go hit the water tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. There's been like a front that came through. Bluebird Day yesterday. The front's still coming through. There are some clouds though, kind of breezy. So I think it'll probably be less than ideal conditions, but whatever.
Hey, being on the water is being on the water.
It is, and you know what? If you're a saltwater angler, you got to cast in wind anyway. It's just
Yeah.
you can't be like, oh, 15-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, they suck. But if you're tarpon fishing, it's probably going to be that windy, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was fishing this last time that last trip with those two big reds. It was like pushing 40-mile-an-hour gusts. It was insane. I mean, I was nailing myself in the back of the head the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That's always great.
Yeah.
Get some involuntary piercings that way.
Yeah, luckily I wear a hat and I had like a hood over, and it was a heavy sweatshirt, so it was I didn't gar myself up too bad. But
I've got a great story about that. I had a friend that he hooked himself in the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was fishing down below a dam in a tailwater, and it was like 20-25-mile-an-hour winds, and they were like the crosswinds. So he threw it back, and it just went like that and stuck in his shoulder. And he had to he was at a dam, and the workers saw him, so they came down. They had a heavy pair of pliers and broke off part of the barb because part of it was sticking out. But then he got home and just yanked it out. It's all on Instagram, but it looked, it looked gnarly. I mean, it wasn't a 4/0 hook, but I mean, it was, I think, like a 1 or a 1/0. So I mean, it was.
I think I can one up that. So I was fishing. I was when I lived in California. I didn't fly fish at the time. It was all conventional, but I was fishing in Catalina Island, and there was these ladies sitting in a bench next to me, and I was fishing something called a iron lure, if you know what that is. Like, they're the big heavy metal. I mean, they weigh like, I was casting out for bonita, and but they have these big giant treble hooks on the back, and they're weighted, and I was stuck in the weeds because there's some like kelp there, and I pulled, and it launched in the air and landed 2 barbs in the lady's leg like this, just like all the way in.
Oh.
And I was young. I was like probably like 10, 11, 12 years old, somewhere around there. I don't know. And I felt so bad. She had to go to the hospital there and have it surgically removed. And that was, luckily it didn't happen to me, but I marred some lady for life.
Son, you're never going fishing again.
Yeah. Actually, they stopped me. Like the guards there were like, "You're done. You can't fish anymore." So that was the end of that.
Oh
But-
man.
My cousin had the same, well, he had a similar experience. He was, you know how bass guys, they don't use landing nets because that's not cool. They gotta lip them. You know what I mean? Unless they're small. And so he was fishing, I think, with a rattle trap.
Oh yeah.
And,
Loose.
you know, and it was shaking, and it just got caught in his finger, and they had to go to the hospital for that
Oh,
one.
yeah. It happens.
Oh,
Sure. It's you know, you don't think of fishing as a dangerous sport, but it kind of is, you know, it
Oh,
can
yeah.
be,
Yeah.
at least.
There's
sure.
no
I
doubt.
actually had a relative years ago. She was a great aunt, and I think they must have been fishing up there where I live, up somewhere up in the hill country. They were using worms back then, you know, and probably cane poles. She got hooked in the eye,
Oh,
and she ended up losing her eye over that.
wow.
And I don't know. My dad told me part of the story, like she ended up having to go to the doctor's office with a worm hanging on her face with that hook still embedded in her eye. So that was pretty messed up. But thank God that never happened to me. But like you were talking about those weighted treble hooks. I was thinking like the worst thing that could happen is to get impaled by one of those salmon snagging hooks. Good grief.
Yep, that would be worse than these things. But these are heavy though. I mean, they weigh probably a pound each. They're these big, like long triangular looking, like diamond looking things, you know? But yeah, those salmon snagging hooks suck too. That would be horrible. And I'm sure it happens. You see them like all the time, you know, pulling back
Yeah.
behind you. I'm sure it happens.
Oh.
Salmon snagging.
Oh man. Well, if you know your buddy's a righty or a lefty, you know which side to stand.
Yep.
I guess.
They used to do it a lot down at the where I lived at Navajo Lake in New Mexico, and yeah, it was popular there, but it you know, it would get so crowded that you'd have people like shoulder to shoulder, like they're this far apart, and I'm like, how I mean, someone's got to be injured, I'm sure. Like there's got to be a couple times with a hook in the face or something, you know. So
Good grief. I don't know if I sent you that little video. I found it on Instagram. I shared it with some friends. It's a bunch of stick figures, and they're all fishing close together. And guy gets tangled in like the other three guys' lines. They all take his rod and break it over their knee, and then they start beating him up. So there's a little stick figure video. It's pretty funny, but
yeah.
kind of like that, I guess.
So it looks like Rob came on here. We've got a fifth. But I don't know what's happening here. If you can hear me, Rob, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can try to see if I can get you on.
It looks like he's just got his camera off.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
He's unmuted from my end.
Well, if you can hear us, welcome. And
Yeah, I don't see his name.
yeah, I can see it here, so I know who it is.
So I got a question. You know the one guy that I think he's also in Florida. I don't know if his name is Sose or So's Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. Yep.
Did you guys get anything like a message from him about crypto yesterday?
Yeah, his Instagram account got hacked.
Okay. I mean that's what I figured.
Yeah, just recently. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. You should probably try to see if you can meet up with him. He catches fish like left and right. I know you do too, but I mean, he's close to you in Florida. That guy catches a lot of fish. I mean,
Where's he out of?
I think down kind of close to Tampa is my.
Oh, okay.
But so not close to you. I mean, but he's in Florida. You know,
Right.
I know you're more in the Panhandle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, no, I'm always down to of course to fish with new people. It's just,
Yeah, he's a nice guy too. Really, really good fisherman. So How's that fly coming along, Will?
It's getting there. I'm close.
So speaking of flies, I got a good question for you, Sean.
Yeah.
What do you think is most important when you're tying a crab pattern? Not necessarily like a quan, like it doesn't have to be a quan. It could be like one of those newer versions of the merkin crab.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think is key to building a fly that works pretty well, that imitates a crab?
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of like a little round body. What you're trying to do is get like a round body. Some of these flies, they have more kind of like some of the crabs at least have more of like points on the side, and you could do that too. Just shape it, you know. A lot of times when I'm doing that, you get kind of like this, you know, where the material, if you're doing like EP fiber, where it kind of is thin in the center and kind of like fans out, kind of like a bow tie almost.
Mm-hmm.
I'll trim the sides as well to kind of keep that more flat, to look more like a crab, you know. That's why I do, but I don't think it's necessary.
Is less EP fiber better?
No, on those, I like to build it up. I
Okay.
use pretty thick, more of them though. So instead of having like 3 or 4 tie-in points with it, then you get these gaps in the center. So if you can do little smaller chunks and then put it closer to the last chunk, get it really close, and then tie up onto it, then you're going to get, you know, a more kind of even segmented body, if that, it's not segmented, but more even body. So, but yeah, just, and also be careful with cutting it. So, hey, how you doing, Rob? Oh, hold on. Muted there, Rob.
He's muted.
So I just want to let you know, they just let me know that we've got 6 minutes and 51 seconds left. So,
here, I unmuted myself. I apologize for being late, but I still
hey, no, it's all right. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. This guy's signing on. My granddaughter's puppy ran away. I had to drive down the road and help her catch her puppy.
Oh man. Well, hopefully you got it.
Yeah, we did.
Good. So yeah, so they give me a time limit on here. It's 45 minutes, and after 40 minutes, after the 40 minutes is up, they just basically cancel it. So if you're in the middle of conversation and it just drops, it's not, you know, just so you know, that's how it works.
I know Zoom.
Yep. So by the way, I record these and I put them up on my YouTube. Just want to let you know. So is that okay with you? Okay. Oh, all right. Cool. Well, it's good to put a face with the name. We've talked a lot.
Yeah, we have. I enjoy them. So I'm really looking forward to being online today with you, but things happen.
Yeah, for sure. I like your flag in the background.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm actually on my phone. I was trying to sign on with my computer, and that sort of got glitched up because I was in the middle of doing it when I had to run out to save a puppy. So I'm on my phone, but I usually have that background even on my computer. I was hoping maybe the computer would extend your thing because I have a paid account which doesn't have the cutoff, and that's why I was trying to use my computer. But unfortunately, I had to use my phone.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at getting a paid account at one point, but I'm not quite there yet. So at one point, maybe we can make these longer, but for now, you know, it'll be 40 minutes. The last couple of times they've just given it to us for free for some reason. So I don't know why, but this time they're holding to it now. So yeah.
So I was gonna mention too, if you want to check out that Teams I was telling you about, I've done it on my other group and it's holding really good.
Cool.
And
yeah,
we've
check
been
that
on
out.
4, 5, 6 hours.
Nice. Well, I think we'd be all sick of each other after 4 or 5 or 6 hours, but
oh yeah.
Might still need to make a limit, but you know, yeah, for sure. That sounds, we might do that. We might switch it up at one point instead of Zoom, but
yeah, I'll send you info on it here. That's why.
For sure. So yeah, so we've got since this is the first time you're on, Will at the top. I don't know if it's laid out the same as I've got, but Will over here at the top left, we've got Brian over here. He's from Florida. He does a lot of fishing out there. Will has also been helping me a lot with this
Tech
Zoom
guru.
thing. He knows how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. And then everyone, this is Rob. He's also a patron. He's been buying flies for me, and we've been chatting for a long time. And then this is John. So down here in
Pleased to meet all of you.
yeah.
I've seen you,
Yeah.
some of these-
What part of the world are you from, Rob?
I live in Arizona, central Arizona, a place called Camp Verde, which is actually an old cavalry fort town.
I think my wife and I drove through there on our way back from the Grand Canyon in Flagstaff back in September. Beautiful country there.
Yeah, it's a lot of good country, not far from some decent fishing, and it's simply located, so I can get to pretty much any place in the state pretty quick, within a couple hours. So it was sort of strategic when I retired to get
Yeah.
a place where I could fish a lot in different places.
That's on the Verde River, I'm guessing.
And I'm about 3 miles from the Verde River and about half a mile from West Clear Creek, which runs into it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. We stopped at Montezuma's Castle.
Oh yeah, just down the road from me.
Yeah, it's awesome. Pretty country. I want to go back over there and explore that part of the world, especially the Mogollon Rim. Awesome trout fishing there.
Yeah, one of my favorite lakes, Willow Springs Lake up there is one of my very favorite lakes. The Game and Fish stocks it with trout, but it also has a pretty good population of smallmouth bass in it. So
Oh
I
man.
love the species lake.
Yeah.
That's always fun. I like fishing all types of fish, so it's always good to go to a place you never know what you're going to catch on it. So
Yeah,
From Georgia, trout fly fish.
The last time I caught any smallmouth, my wife and I went to the Gila Hot Springs and stayed there, and I got to fish on the main part of the Gila River and catch some smallmouth. That was a lot of fun.
yeah, Gila has some good smallmouth in it too.
Yeah. What's crazy is from what I've read, the Gila trout used to go a long ways. I mean, it was actually used to go a lot. Where it was spread out was a lot further up and down the Gila River than it is nowadays.
Yeah, they're trying to bring back the Gila and the Apache trout. They've been stocking those around. I'm trying to get those on my trout challenge list to catch Gila. And matter of fact, they caught one a couple of years ago over by Prescott, which is probably going to be a new world record, Gila trout.
Really?
So, I keep hoping. I fish that lake too sometimes, so I'm hoping to hook into something. But yeah, they're bringing them back pretty good. I'm not too far from Oak Creek in Sedona too, which is a beautiful place to, and one of those beautiful red rock countries in the world.
We drove right down that Oak Creek Canyon from Flagstaff. Drove down to Sedona that way. My wife and I did. I just driving past that beautiful trout stream. I had to pull over for just a little bit, just walk down there to the river and just take a look at it. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is a beautiful stream, and some really nice fish. They've been putting the Gila back in there. Plus, it has a natural producing population of browns, and some of them get pretty darn big in there.
Wow,
Some rainbows.
that's awesome.
I hate to say it, it looks like we're about a few seconds away from it canceling us out here. So